Jeopardy! Please welcome our contestant. Player one. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trevette.
Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone. Good luck to you in the Jeopardy round. For this game, the categories are as follows. Dirty, rotten scoundrels. Ends in U. Literary pets. Science. Yo, Jimmy. And Grammy winners. Player one. This woman with a reputation as a hard-drinking, foul-mouthed ruffian claimed she married Wild Bill Hickok. The correct response is Calamity Jane. Please. This company helped track down Black Bart, the bandit who'd robbed its stagecoaches about 27 times. The correct response is Wells Fargo. Player one. Some say Arizona Donnie Clark was just overprotective, but she's infamously known by this name. Here's the correct response. Ma Barker. Please. A ballad ends, they'll bury them side by side. To few it'll be grief, to the law a relief, but it's death for them. Here's the response we were looking for. Bonnie and Clyde. Player one. Harry Longbaugh got this nickname after serving time in a Wyoming prison for horse theft. Here's what we wanted. Sundance. You get to pick. Both Roy Orbison and Linda Ronstadt sang about a blue one. Player one. Sorry, that's wrong. We're talking about Bayou. Player one. An Eastern spiritual leader or a recognized leader in a field. It's player one. No, that's not right. Here's the response we were looking for. A guru. Player one. From the Old French for bundle, it's the bundle of clothing and linens a bride collects for her marriage. Here's the correct response. A trousseau. Player one. This world capital is located about 180 miles southeast of Miami. Player one. You are correct. Good. Back on the plus side. Player one. These Bantu-speaking people make up the largest language group in the Republic of South Africa. The correct response is the Zulu. Player one. The title beast of his The Hound of the Baskervilles is actually the pet of Mr. Jack Stapleton. The correct response is Arthur Conan Doyle. Select. Harry Potter uses his snowy owl named this to transfer messages. It's player one. That is correct. You get. Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings' The Yearling centers on this type of pet. The correct response is a deer. Player one. Little Swan, Little Bear, and Greenfinch are some of the goats of this Johanna Spiri lass. Here's the correct response. Heidi. Player one. Answer. It's the Daily Double. And you have the lead. Please enter your wager. Here is your clue. A poetic Elliot feline who has lived many lives in succession is named for this fifth book of the Old Testament. Yes. Select again. The third law of thermodynamics implies that a system can never be brought to this temperature point. Okay, player one.
Yeah!
Right. please. In 2006, Israeli scientists claim to have created the ball type of this stormy phenomenon using a microwave oven. Player one? No, sorry. Here's the correct response. Lightning. You get to pick, and I'll hand it off to Kelly.
Symbolized lambda, the total distance covered by one complete cycle of oscillation from peak to peak or trough to trough is called this.
Okay, player one. Good. Player one, we went underground to learn this unit is equal to about 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd power molecules of a substance. Here's the correct response. A mole. Player one. In 2007, Intel announced a new, faster chip design replacing this 14th element with hafnium. Here's what we wanted. Silicon. Please pick again. In the comics, Jimmy Olsen was this hero's cub reporter pal. Here's what we wanted. Superman. Select again. A book by former President Jimmy Carter compared Israel's treatment of Palestinians to this policy of white South Africa. Yes, player one? Hey, you're right.
Woo!
You get from 1957 to 1971, Jimmy Hoffa was the president of this labor union. We're talking about the Teamsters. The Jimmy was a popular SUV from this American automaker. Let's hear it, player one. Nope. Here's what we wanted. General Motors. Select. He's Jerry Lee Lewis's famous evangelist cousin. Here's the correct response. Jimmy Swaggart. Player one. 1978. Just the Way You Are. We're talking about Billy Joel. Select. 1966. Strangers in the Night. The correct response is Frank Sinatra. Player one. 1992. Tears in Heaven. Okay, player one. No, that's not right. Here's what we were looking for. Eric Clapton. You get to pick 2010, Need You Now. Here's what we were looking for. Lady Antebellum. Let's have a look at the $1,000 clue. 1973, Killing Me Softly with His Song. Here's the correct response. Roberta Flack. The Double Jeopardy round will begin right after this. Categories for the Double Jeopardy round are Word Origins, all about presidents, World Capitals, Flowers, Football, and Books and Authors. All right, this ground meat sandwich gets its name from a German port city. Player one? No, that's not right. Here's what we wanted. A hamburger. Select again. This wood-eating insect gets its name from the Latin for wood-eating worm. Player one? Great, you're back into it now. This word for a kind of land mass comes from a word meaning to contain. Yes, player one? Good. Player 1. This highest natural singing voice for women is Italian for what is above. Let's hear it, Player 1. That's it. We return to you. This term for a leading character of a literary work comes from the Greek for first combatant. Here's the correct response. Protagonist. We return to JFK took his oath of office on a Bible that these people, his mother's family, had brought with them from Ireland. Here's what we were looking for. The Fitzgeralds. As a teenager in the 1880s, he played the helicon in the Marion People's Band in Marion, Ohio. Here's the response we were looking for. Warren Harding. Player 1. He was the only member of Washington's cabinet who went on to become president. Here's the response we were looking for. Thomas Jefferson. Player 1. He was the second to die as the result of assassination. It's Player 1. Sorry, that's wrong. Here's the correct response. James Garfield. Player 1. He was number 13. Here's what we were looking for. Millard Fillmore. Player 1. Budapest is the capital of Hungary. This is the capital of Romania. Player 1. Right. Player 1. The capital of India is not pronounced Calcutta or Calicut, but this way. Here's what we were looking for. New Delhi. Player 1. Answer. The first of the daily doubles. You are in first place. Please enter your wager. Here is your clue. This world capital is on the island of Java. Good. Player 1. Laid out in 1874, the botanical gardens in this capital have an observatory with a statue of Tycho Brahe. Here's the correct response. Copenhagen. You again. This city on the Malay Peninsula is the capital of Malaysia. Here's the correct response. Kuala Lumpur. Player 1. This country isn't out of kilter with the thistle as its national flower. The correct response is Scotland. Player 1. On March 22, 1994, the Dutch ambassador to the United States gave her a new tulip named for her. Here's the response we were looking for. Hillary Rodham Clinton. You get to, singularly speaking, the bright blue cornflower is known as this button. Here's the response we were looking for. The bachelor button. Player 1. And here's Jimmy.
Also called galanthus, it's among the earliest garden flowers to blossom in spring.
Here's the response we were looking for. The snowdrop. Player 1. Bloom forms of this large hardy perennial include spoon, quill, and pompon. Okay, Player 1. Nope. Sorry. Here's the correct response. The chrysanthemum. Player 1, back. This cup representing Canadian football supremacy was donated by the descendant of a tea namesake. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Yeah!
Yes. Player 1, he caught the catch on January 10th, 1982. Here's what we wanted. Dwight Clark. Player 1. This Cowboys wide receiver of the 1990s is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Okay, Player 1.
Yeah!
Right. Player 1. Here's Jimmy with the clue.
In this type of trick play, the quarterback hands off to a running back, who hands off to a tight end going in the opposite direction.
The correct response is a reverse. Please pick answer. The other daily double. And you have the lead. How much are you going to wager, player one? And the daily double clue. To see this NFL team's home games at FedEx Field, take a shuttle bus from the Landover Metro stop. No. Here's what we wanted. Washington Redskins. Player one. In 2003, Mitch Albom had a #1 bestseller with the 5 people you meet in here. Here's the response we were looking for. Heaven. Player one. In 1947, he published his first story collection, Dark Carnival. Fahrenheit 451 came 6 years later. We're talking about Ray Bradbury. You get in Willa Cather's O Pioneers, the heroine, Alexandra Bergson, is of immigrant stock from this country. Here's what we wanted. Sweden. Player one. In 2007, his book, The Road, earned him a Pulitzer Prize and entry into Oprah's book club. Here's what we wanted. Cormac McCarthy. And the $2,000 clue? James Michener's Centennial centers on a fictional town in this state. Here's what we were looking for. Colorado. You will participate in Final Jeopardy right after this. This is the Final Jeopardy category for today. World authors. Please enter your wager. Let's see what it is. Here's the clue. In 1898, he wrote, "As for the persons I have accused, they are embodiments of social malfeasance." And your response? Sorry, that incorrect response will drop your score by... Here's what we wanted. Émile Zola. Congratulations, player one. You are our new champion. Good game. Thank you so much for playing.